All right, welcome to Business Credit Builder. My name is Noel A. Booker Sr., and I'm the CEO at Business Credit Builder.us LLC. And what we do at Business Credit Builder is we help businesses build their business credit and access funding. Okay? So today we're going to be talking about business credit reporting agencies. This is part of our spring series. All right. This is our Spring Fling Business Credit Series, and I welcome everybody to it. So if you're logging in from YouTube or any of our social media platforms, make sure you hit subscribe, like, and all that stuff, right? So in the series, this is the second installment of 4 in our series, okay? And hold on, let me move this. This is the second part of 4 in our series. And so the first one was on the first step, which is the most important step, which is how to make your business credible in the eyes of the lender, okay? Credible in the eyes of the lender and fundable, okay? So if you missed that, that's on our YouTube channel right now. So you can go back and check out the first installment of the spring series, okay? So today we're gonna talk about the business credit agencies. So once you got your business, your credibility set up and your business set up properly, which means you got your name, you got your address, you got your EIN, you got your telephone, all right? You got your 800 number, your fax number, your DUNS number, your bank account, right? And once you got all of that stuff for your business and everything is lined up exactly right, like I told you in the first series, then you're ready to learn about the business credit reporting agencies. And in this segment, the most important thing about this segment is that you understand that once you have your credibility set up, your business set up properly, then what you want to do is be aware of the business credit reporting agencies so that you can build up your business credit and track your trade lines, okay? So there are 3 companies. Now, I got them on the board back here, but that green, I have to get some black ink, so you can't really see it that well, but I'm gonna tell you what they are, all right? So y'all can take notes, all right? The 3 business credit agencies are, these are the business credit reporting agencies, and these are the 3 most important ones that you need to know about. Dun and Bradstreet is the first one. Dun and Bradstreet, all right? Dun and Bradstreet is the largest business credit reporting agency that there is, okay? And these business credit reporting agencies, all they're in the business for is to take information and they repackage that information and they resell it. That's what they do, okay? So they're in the information business, right? All they do is take information in, and Dun & Bradstreet has more data files and information than any other business credit reporting agency by far, okay? By far, they're the largest, meaning they have the most files and records. And they're the most important to have, okay? Dun & Bradstreet, right? That's one. The second one is Experian. Experian is the next one that you need to have. All right. And then there's Equifax. Equifax you'll use less than the others, but you need to have vendors reporting to Equifax as well. All right. So you need vendors reporting to all three business credit reporting agencies: Dun & Bradstreet, Experian, and Equifax. And what they have for you as a business, what you would need is your business credit report. Each one of these companies charge you about $100 a month for your business credit report. Okay? They charge you about $100 a month. When you do business credit with my company, we charge you $25 a month for all three reports. So if you do this on your own, you'll go to each one of these and you will need to purchase your business credit report from them. And they charge you about $100 per month. Each one of them, they change up their packages, they change their prices often, but basically that's what they charge in general, okay? Okay, so Dun & Bradstreet. Let's go back to Dun & Bradstreet, right? Let me say this. Let me say this, right? That you need access to your business credit report, because when we start building up your business credit and you make a payment to a vendor for a trade line, you want to make sure that they are reporting your trade line on time and correctly. Okay, that's why you need your business credit report. Okay, so let's go over what a trade line is, just so that we're on the same page, right? Because this is like the basis for building your business credit. Is your business credit reporting agencies. Okay, hold on one sec. Okay, so the trade line is the basis for building your business credit, and your business credit report is the blueprint to building your business credit. Okay, so this is what a trade line is. So we're all on the same page. A trade line. A trade line is when you go to a company, they give you an account on credit, right? They give you an account on credit. Now you buy something from this company on credit, right? And when you buy something on credit from this company, now you have the item and you didn't pay for it yet. They give you an invoice, right? They give you an invoice for you to pay. And so when you pay that invoice, this is what happens. They send a report to the business credit reporting agencies. And the report says, XYZ company has an account with us. And they have a limit with us, X amount of dollars. They can spend this amount of money with us, right? And they made a purchase with us and they paid it in X amount of days. So that's the information they send to the business credit reporting agencies. And when the business credit reporting agencies receive that information from the vendor, that, ladies, is one trade line. Now you can make more transactions with this vendor, but it's still one trade line. When you make more transactions, they call that experiences. Okay. Thanks for coming, everybody that's here. that's coming in the door. Okay. So those trade lines. Does anybody have any question about what a trade line is? Because, like I said, that's like the basis for building a business credit. Does everybody understand what a trade line is? I guess so. No questions. Okay, so now that everybody understands what a trade line is, so like I said, the important thing here is that you get access to your business credit reports so that when you make these purchases and you make a payment, they're going to send that report, and you want to go and pull your report to make sure that they sent that transaction to the business credit reporting agencies accurately and correctly. Okay? And then you go to pull out your business credit report and you see it on there. And you'll see your trade line start to build up. And that's the whole deal with this business credit, is to get this vendor to give you something on credit. You pay for it in a timely manner. They send a report to the business credit reporting agencies, and that's one trade line. And the idea of business credit is to get as many trade lines on your business credit report as possible, because that tells a lender that you can pay a bill on time. Okay, let's see. Aisha got a question. What is your YouTube channel so I can subscribe? You can go to my website, which is businesscreditbuilder.us. And at the top right, there is a logo for YouTube, and you can go directly to the YouTube channel and you can subscribe. Okay. Okay. So, so now we talked about Dun & Bradstreet, the importance of your business credit reports, what a trade line is, right? Okay. Now, there's something else that you need to know, right? These companies, they have identifying numbers, right? Which you need to know about, right? Some of them are issued, and some of them you have to apply for, right? So, Experian, they have what they call the BIN, which is a business identification number. When you make a transaction with a company and they report to Experian, then your BIN number will be automatically issued. It'll be on your file. Okay? But more importantly is the Dun & Bradstreet Paydex number. I'm getting ahead of myself. The DUNS number is what I want to talk about. The DUNS number. This is a number that is important for you to build your business credit. And once you have your credibility, then you're going to run, not walk. You're going to run over to Dun & Bradstreet and request your DUNS number. And the DUNS number, all it is an identifying number that identifies your business directly related to the address. Okay? So you have to make sure when you apply for this DUNS number, your address is correct. And when I mean correct, it's correct and matches the address that's listed on your Secretary of State certificate that you got when you registered your name. Okay? So, the DUNS number. Anybody got a question on what the DUNS number is? Did I explain that clear enough? The DUNS number, because that's important that you understand, but you have to apply for a DUNS number. Okay? So, there's another number at Dun & Bradstreet, which is called the Paydex score. And the Paydex score is a score that creditors look at to determine your credit worthiness, whether or not they're going to give you this loan or not, or give you this account, right? Now, the pay debt score goes from 0 to 100, okay? Where if you have a pay debt score of 70, then you are lendable, basically. But I teach my clients how to get to an 80 pay debt score. That's where you really need to be. Your pay debt score needs to be 80 or above, okay? Now, if your pay debt score is 90 to 100, then that tells the lender that you pay early, all right? If your score is 90 to 100, then you pay early, and that's saying to the lenders. If your score is between 80 and 90, 80 and 90, then that means you are paying on time, okay? If your score is 70 to 80, then that tells the lender that you pay about 14 days past the due date, okay? And that is lendable, okay? And it's easy to get to a 70. Let me tell you. So when you get your DUNS number, they will not give you a pay debt score until 3 vendors have reported to Dun & Bradstreet, okay? So coming out the box, you need to at least find 3 vendors that are going to report to Dun & Bradstreet, because they're not going to give you a pay debt score until 3 vendors have reported, okay? And those 3 vendors that you get and reporting to Dun & Bradstreet, if you pay those 3 vendors on time, then they will give you about a 76 score. Okay, so just having those 3 vendors and you pay those on time, you're already close to an 80. Easy. Okay. All right. But you need 3 vendors before they can give you a pay debt score. Okay. Okay, so Experian, right? They got all of these different numbers. The thing to know about Experian is that you definitely need to get vendors that report to Experian, for sure, as well as Equifax. And on my blog, I have more detailed information about the scoring of the different scores that they have, because they have different scores, right? But the main one is their IntelliScore, okay? But the main thing to know is pay your bills on time, at least on time, which means the first step is to get these net 30 accounts. You just want to pay them on time, right? So you got Dun & Bradstreet, Experian, Equifax. Equifax you'll use less often than the other 2. You'll find vendors, most companies use Experian, but the most valuable one is Dun & Bradstreet. But you need all 3 of them: Dun & Bradstreet, Experian, Equifax. Okay. Any questions so far? Okay. All right. So let's see what else. Yeah, like I said, this one is a quick one because it's basically simple. Understanding why you need your business credit report and understanding the scores and who the players are, right? So there's 3 players, the 3 business credit reporting agencies, Dun& Bradstreet, Equifax, Experian. You need to know about the DUNS number. I told you about that. You need to know about the pay debt score, right? You need to know that Dun & Bradstreet will not give you a pay debt score until 3 vendors report. And you want to have your pay debt score at 80 or above, right? Let's see. Ms. Key has a question. How do you know what business credit agencies the vendors report to? Excellent question. And Ms. Burke has another question. I'm gonna get right to you. So how you find out which reporting agencies the vendors report to is this. When you get these accounts, you want to ask them, who do y'all report to? That's a normal question. Now, the thing is, the customer service person that you get on the telephone may not know the answer to that, okay? So you would have to go to the credit department. And the credit person that answers the phone may not know that answer either, okay? So then you have to talk to the credit manager. Now, the credit manager most likely knows. But what you need to know is that sometimes these companies hire a third party to make these transmissions of data, right? They may hire a third party and may not even know. Well, I think the credit manager will probably know who they report to, right? But he might not know when they send the reports over and stuff like that, right? So one thing I found out about this is that, these businesses are in business to sell something. So they don't spend a lot of time and effort on after the sale communications, like following up on your trade line, okay? They don't know about that. The customer service person most likely does not know. The credit person might know, and the credit manager should know, but may not know, okay? So that makes it difficult. But that's how you find out who they report to. You just ask them, all right? Let's see. Ms. Burke got a question. Can you share a couple of vendors that report to Dun & Bradstreet? I can, but that's going to be in the next Spring Fling series. Next week, I'm going to go over the vendors, right? But I'm going to give you some right off the top of my head. All right? You ready? Here you go. Okay. Uline. Right? But what you need to know about Uline is that if you call Uline and ask them for a net 30 account, which I'm gonna tell you about next week, they will not give you a net 30 account if there is nothing on your credit report. Okay, here goes another one. Strategic Network Solutions, Summa Office Supplies, DigiKey. All right. So if you go to my website, Business Credit Builder, Business Credit Builder.us/vendors, then you can see Strategic Network Solutions and Summa Office Supplies, and there's a promo code that you can use. There's an affiliate code that you can use. Okay. Okay, so let me see. I did Uline, Strategic Network Solutions, Summa Office Supplies, and I said DigiKey. So that's 4, right? But I'm gonna go over that stuff next week in more detail. All right. Any more questions about the business credit reporting agencies? or the pay debt score, or the reporting process. Because there's a lot of stuff inside of the reporting process, right? Like how much time does it take for your trade line to hit? Let me tell you about that. This is how it goes. You really need to ask when you get these accounts, you need to ask them two questions. One is, who do you report to? And two is, when do you report? Most report at the end of the month, but you want to know when they report, because some vendors will not report if you buy an item and pay for the item in the same reporting cycle, right? So, which means this is my strategy that I use, right? Most of them report at the end of the month. So this is what I do. I make my purchases right before the end of the month. That means at the end of the month, I have the item and I owe it. So when they report, you want to show an outstanding balance when they report. So I buy my item about the 25th, and then at the 30th or the 31st, they report, right? And then I pay it in the first week of the next month, within 14 days. Because that means when they send that report, it's going to say they paid early. So if you pay it within 14 days, that's an early payment to them, sent to the business credit reporting agencies. If you pay within the 15th day and the 30th day, then the report that they send is an on-time payment. And if you pay, if this is a net 30 account, if you pay on the 31st day, then that's a late payment, if this is the net 30 account, okay? So that's two things you have to ask when you get these accounts. One is, who do you report to, and when do you report? That was kind of advanced right there. So I gave you all some extra stuff that I don't usually go through. All right, any more questions? This is a good time to ask questions, because at the top of the hour, I have another webinar. What's the title of that webinar? Let's see. We're gonna find out. I'm gonna look that up for you right now. Let's see. So, okay, so at the top of the hour, we're gonna have another webinar, right? Which we're gonna go through all the details of building business credit. This next one is entitled How to Build Business Credit for Your EIN that's not linked to your social, all right? That's at the top of the hour. You can go to my website on the events page and register for that webinar now if you'd like to. Ms. Burke has another question. Please repeat when payment is considered early, on time, between 15:30, after 30. Okay. All right, this is how the deal goes, right? If you pay your invoice within 14 days of the invoice date, then when that company sends the report to the business credit reporting agency, they're going to say they paid that early if you paid it within 14 days. Okay? So if you paid it on the 15th day, between the 15th day and the 30th, then that means it's an on-time payment. And considering that this is a net 30 account that we're talking about, if you paid it on the 31st day, then that's a late payment. So did I answer that question, Ms. Burke? Hello, Pamela. Did I answer that question? All righty, cool. What else about business credit reporting agencies? So y'all should know by now the three most important ones: Dun & Bradstreet, Experian, and Equifax. There's another one called I forgot the name of it off the top of my head. It's shoot. It's gonna come to me. But it's not that important. you see, it's not that important. The three most important is the three I told you. There's one more that is more important, and that one is more, it's more popular overseas in Australia and in Europe. No, not LexisNexis. That's a LexisNexis gathers information for your business and your personal from public records and other means to gather information for you about you. But the other one I was trying to think of is Credit Something. But I forgot it. But it's not that important, right? But just so you know, if somebody else says, I report to such and such, you know, that's probably the one, because they're more popular in Australia and Europe. The main three here is the ones I talked to you about: Dun & Bradstreet, Experian, Equifax. Okay. Let's see what else I need to talk to you about business credit reporting agencies. You need to get access to those reports, right? You get access to the reports so that you can track your trade lines. The trade lines, like I said before, is the basis for building your business credit. It's like bricks build a house, trade lines build your business credit, right? And then there's like a blueprint to build the house, the layout. Well, your business credit report is your blueprint, all right? You want to know where's your bricks at, right? So the trade lines build up your business credit, and the business credit report shows you your trade lines, right? Does that make sense? Okay. All right. Remember, sign up for the next one that starts at 7 o'clock. And we got for some more time before that happens. So right now I'm just freestyling. So y'all can ask me whatever questions you have for about 10 minutes, and then we prepare for the next webinar. Any more questions? Any questions about anything? Let's just talk. Does anybody have business credit?
Hi, this is Shantae. I have a question. I would like to know, what is the best way to expand the amount of money that you receive for business credit?
Aha, Shantae, that's a good question. Okay, so the terminology for that is increasing your availability to funds at an account. So an account gave you $1,000. How do you get them to give you $2,000 credit? Is that basically the question?
Yes, I'm just really trying to understand how to expand the dollars that's given for business credit.
I got you. Okay, so this is what you do. And this is for when you get revolving accounts, okay? revolving accounts, which is different than the net 30 accounts. Revolving accounts, they don't require that you pay the full amount in 30 days. They give you a minimum amount to pay. So this applies, I'm answering this question in regards to increasing your available limit at a vendor. So what you want to do is show them that you have made some purchases and paid them on time. That's what they want to know. You pay stuff on time, we'll give you more money. So my basic strategy for that is I make 3 transactions separately and pay them separately on time, right? Then I call them and ask for an increase. Now, all of these companies do this in a different way, right? So let's say my strategy is to do 3 transactions, pay them on time, then call and ask for an increase. Now, sometimes I might call and ask for an increase and they say, well, we don't consider an increase until after 6 months. Well, then now I know when to call them and ask for that increase, okay? But I'm gonna be proactive with this whole thing. So I'm gonna make 3 transactions, asking for an increase. Sometimes they might give it to you right then. Sometimes they might say, hey, we need to wait a little bit. Sometimes they might say, you need to make more transactions. You see? So that's my approach to increasing your availability of credit. And it's best used with revolving accounts. Now, know that you can't get in a revolving account unless you already have business credit. Okay? Which I'm gonna tell you more about in the next week. I'm gonna tell you more about it in the Spring Fling next week series. And at the top of the hour, 7 o'clock, I'm gonna go through the whole detail of all the business credit stuff with all the steps. And we can go over all of this stuff in the next webinar coming up. Okay, let's see, Pamela got a question. What are the best cards to start with to establish business credit? Well, they're not necessarily cards. And this is a question for next week, all right? This one that we're talking about today is just the business credit reporting agencies, but we can go into that, all right? So, I already answered that question, actually. To start business, to establish your business credit, which is actually the same as creating your business credit profile. Because when you start from scratch, you don't have nothing, right? So then you start from scratch, we do the credibility, set up your company correctly, right? And then you get your DUNS number. And then you're gonna start to build your business credit profile with vendors. And if you go to businesscreditbuilder.us/vendors, right? Then there is instructions on how to get an account with Strategic Network Solutions, Summa Office Supplies, right? Those are on the website with affiliate codes, okay? And then the other companies is Uline, there's DigiKey, right? So that's 4 right there. Next week, I'm gonna go over more detail about the starter vendors and how to start your credit profile. Also, I'll go over this stuff in the next webinar. The next webinar is gonna be an hour and a half and it's gonna have a lot more detail. This webinar is just specifically talking about the business credit reporting agencies. Okay, Ms. Pamela, I hope I answered that question. All right. So we got about 17 minutes till the next webinar starts. So I'll take another question and then we're gonna stop this webinar and I'm gonna crank back up at the top of the hour. And we're gonna do the whole thing, all the detail on how to build your business credit from the start to the end, with all the details you need to know, all right? All righty. So was this this was like a fast one here. I could do at the top of my head. But was this useful to anybody? This little webinar that we did? Was this okay?
It was really helpful for me. This is Shantae again, but I do have one more question. Is there a certain strategy that you should put in place to also build the amounts that you get as far as increasing? So if you start with the U lines, do I move to like fleet cards, or is there a certain way that you should build your credit cards in order to get larger amounts or approved for more money?
Well, to be approved for more money is the strategy I already gave you. Now, what you're talking about is to increase your number of trade lines on your business credit report. And at 7 o'clock, I'm gonna go into more detail, and there's a whole stuff that you need to know that I'm gonna go into in the next webinar. Okay, I'm gonna go into more detail about getting more vendors, the strategy of the vendors that you need to get, right? Because building business credit is a step-by-step process. Each step is needed for the next step. So in the spring series, this step, the business credit reporting agency, is the second step. The first step was credibility. The next step is business credit reporting agencies. Then the next step is the net 30 accounts, how you create your business credit profile. And then the fourth step is the revolving accounts. Okay. So that's how you got to do it. First step is net 30 accounts. Next step is the revolving accounts. And then when you got 10 trade lines, then you can start applying for business credit cards, lines of credit, business equipment loans, business loans, but you need 10 trade lines. Okay. All right. So
Got
we're
it.
going to
Thank
talk
you.
more in detail in the next webinar. Okay.
All right. See you at 7.
Bet. All right, y'all. We're gonna crank this down. I'm gonna get me a glass of water, some fresh air, and I'm gonna see y'all at 7 o'clock. Make sure y'all can register at businesscreditbuilder.us/events. Register for the next webinar. Make sure you get a free guide for building business credit at businesscreditbuilder.us. Get a free guide. Check out the website. All right. Get a free guide on how to build with business credit. Make sure you get those guides. Actually, I say you get a free guide, but there's actually 4 guides when you sign up at the free guide button at my website. All right. So I'll talk to y'all at 7. Y'all have a good one. Thank y'all for coming. Make sure y'all check out the website, like, subscribe, all that social media stuff. All right. Talk to y'all later. Thank y'all for coming.